It's finally time. You've been waiting so long, and now you finally get the opportunity to transition back to face-to-face instruction. What an exciting time, especially if this is your first time being in the classroom. You get the opportunity to actually go into your buildings and lead from there and teach your students in person. And I know that you're so excited and you have so many ideas and so many things that you want to do, but let's pump the breaks before we start decorating our classrooms and all of that good stuff and doing our seating arrangements and making everything look cute and pretty. We need to plan for a productive learning environment for our students. Virtual teaching is nothing like face-to-face teaching. Very different, and you have to create certain systems and routines and properly plan in order to support student achievement. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you about rules, why you need them, the benefits to having rules, and exactly what rules are. Hi everyone, my name is Tierney, also known as Miss Tierney, and this is the #1 place for new teachers teaching in Title I schools looking to create highly engaging and well-managed virtual and face-to-face classrooms. So in today's video, we're going to be going over 3 top things. First, what are rules? Why do you need rules? And also, what are the benefits to having rules in your classroom? Okay, so let's go ahead and start with rules. What are rules? Rules are simply nothing more than your general expectations for student conduct and behavior in your classroom. And I know there are some people who are like, I am more of a laid back type of teacher. I don't need a lot of regimented structures within my classroom. I like to have more relaxed, free-flowing environment. Even with a relaxed, free-flowing environment, there is still a certain limit to what you expect for students to do in your classroom. Students may be able to do certain things in your classroom, but there are also certain things that you would not consider to be acceptable within your classroom. So with rules, you are simply stating to kids up front with clear communication what it is that you expect of them, what desired behaviors are okay within your classroom environment. Now, let's transition into why we need rules. So the first big thing is students are not mind readers. Students do not know exactly what it is their teachers expect of them until we as the teacher tell them what we expect of them. So when we give our students these rules and these expectations up front, the students are able to conduct themselves accordingly and hold themselves accountable to that expectation. But if we've never shared it with them, at the end of the day, who's going to be frustrated when students aren't meeting expectations? You are. Because the fact of the matter is, unmet expectations lead to frustration, which leads to you being a burnout, stressed out teacher. And we definitely want to avoid that. So when we give our students our rules, this is very important because we are able to promote the appropriate behavior that we desire to see within our classroom. So it is a way of us as the teacher and the leader of our classroom being very proactive in communicating to students what we expect and what we don't expect in our classroom. So when we think about how can we properly set students up so that we can prevent misbehavior before it even starts, this is one of the foundational skills that we need to do. Another reason as to why rules are very helpful to our students and to creating a very productive learning environment is because they create a sense of order and predictability within our classroom. So when we're thinking about our students, they actually do enjoy structure. And another thing is, our students have been out of the classroom for such a long time now. They've been at home, and most of them have been able to live life as they please. So when they are now being asked to step into our classrooms, there is a whole nother way in which they are to conduct themselves. Should they be able to bring their full authentic self into our classroom environment? 100%. However, at the same time, we do know that it is going to be a huge adjustment for our students making a transition from a free-flowing environment at their home to now this is how you must act in the classroom space. So with us communicating these expectations and being consistent with our expectations and rules, we are able to support our students best by creating that sense of order and predictability within our classroom environment. So with that, when we are establishing rules within our classroom, it is highly, highly important that we are not only making these rules, but clearly explaining to students what it means to adhere to these rules and expectations. Because if we're not clearly communicating them, then we are ultimately not able to properly position our students for success. When we are developing these rules for our classroom, it is imperative that we clearly communicate them to our students. So now let's go ahead and transition into some of the benefits of setting rules and expectations within our classroom. So one of the big benefits to setting rules and expectations within our classroom is that our students are able to clearly know what is and what is not acceptable within our specific classroom environment. So for example, our students, not only are they now coming, like I said, from home to school after a very long gap in time, but also there are multiple teachers that they are seeing. And each one of the teachers that they see have a certain level of expectation for student conduct within their classroom. Some people's bar for those expectations are low, which is a problem in and of itself. But other people have a higher bar and a higher set of expectations for how students should conduct themselves in their classroom. So with that said, when we have our students seeing these multiple teachers and going through these multiple classrooms, we need to let them know you may be able to do X, Y, and Z in this particular learning environment, but over here, these are the expectations that I have in place, and these are the reasons why I have these expectations. So another benefit to having rules is that we are able to teach our students up front what we expect of them so that we can save our time and energy. We will not have to consistently redirect misbehavior or off-task students because we have properly set them up for success by clearly explaining to them how we expect for them to conduct themselves in our classroom. So it is very important that when we are giving these students our rules, that we are able to, like I said, clearly explain them to our students so that we can spend less time on the back end constantly having to redirect and reshift student behavior that is not meeting expectations. So one of the other major benefits is that we are able to nip potential disruptions before they even start. So again, that just helps us as a teacher to save time and energy. Not only that, but it also helps us to minimize the need for consequences that we might have to administer to our students when they aren't meeting expectations. So now that you have all this, you know exactly what rules are, why you need them in your classroom, and the benefits to having rules in your classroom. And if you're struggling with, okay, now that I know that rules and expectations are very vital to my classroom, how do I create rules that students actually buy into and actually follow? How do I create rules that are tailored to my specific classroom and the needs of my specific students? So if these are some questions that are running through your mind, then I want to encourage you to go ahead and click the link down below, and so that you can enroll into my classroom management plan workshop, where we are going to go through setting up all the vital components for a classroom management plan so that you can make a very smooth and easy transition back into face-to-face instruction, so that ultimately you can provide a quality learning environment for your students so that they can increase their academic achievement. If this is something that you are interested in, then I encourage you to again click the link in the description down below so that you can learn more. Let me know down below what are some of the rules that you have in your classroom. I would love to know them, and other people can then get some ideas for their classroom. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.